Hey guys, welcome today to another episode of Four Peas in a Pod. This is episode 4. We're joined today with David Davis,
Andre Messam.
Anthony Messam.
Orville Davis.
and we have a topic that we feel that we hold near and dear to us. We feel that it's critical to incorporate in your process, and it's pertaining to setting goals. It's critical to not only create goals, but understanding what a goal is, right? So be like saying to yourself, I'm going to be a millionaire isn't a goal, right? But saying something along the lines of, I'm going to be a millionaire by December 31st of 2020 is. Okay. And part of that is creating small, obtainable goals that you can use to slowly build up to your primary goal, right? It's said that, you don't build a wall by just going and saying, I'm going to build a wall today, right? You start by laying a brick as perfectly as possible and repeating that on a daily basis. Right. So I take myself, for example, when I first started, in the banking industry, and I knew that I just wanted to make, more money. And, I always filled my head with negative thoughts as to, other people had advantages over me in the business. And, I was young or I was a minority and I didn't really feel I could excel or do well in that career. And what it really took for me to move forward was to understand that, not to try to change my circumstances, like change my location or something of that sort, but rather change my perspective, right? So, my first goal was within my branch, I wanted to become the highest producer within that branch. Once obtaining that goal, I went ahead and said, okay, I want to now be the highest producer within my district. After completing that, the next goal was the region, right? At the end of that year, as I, progressed within my career, I ended up being, number 384 out of 22,000 bankers, right? So, again, it really took for me to rid myself of all like the negative thoughts and people having advantages and being young and being a minority, and getting rid of those thoughts and focusing that energy on obtaining goals and obtaining the specific goal that I had in mind, and just slowly laying brick by brick to eventually have that wall, right? And in addition, it was not enough to just, say that the goal that I wanted once. I had to regularly remind myself of that goal. Dre, what about you?
I definitely agree with what you said, just repeating and consistency. And I have a quote, just to start things off, by LL Cool J. And he said, stay focused, go after your dream, and keep moving towards your first goal. I remember making my first set of goals in the 3rd grade. My teacher, Miss Nugent, she made us write down these goals for our following 5, 10, and 15 years. And I had absolutely no idea where I saw myself in that time span. But all I could think were optimistic thoughts, Possibly they may have been too optimistic, as I thought possibly I can be the next Michael Jordan. Then I thought to myself, what are my skills? Where is my skill level to achieve what I want to be? I wasn't going to be the next MJ. So I had to create measurable, attainable, and defined goals for myself. I wanted my education to be my key to success. It was in my 3rd grade class. I knew in order to become successful, I was going to have to take a very, very, take a large step towards accomplishing educational success. And that would be my freedom to making it in life. I knew that I wanted to graduate from school, but I had no idea how I could do it. I just didn't know how I can be on the honor roll, but I said, what, let me break it down. At first, I determined what subjects I was weakest in, and I developed a study plan to improve my grades for the following quarters, and increase my performance. And then I knew once my performance had increased, I said, okay, what final exams do I have coming up? And I studied. I didn't wait until the last minute. I didn't procrastinate going forward, and this allowed me to prepare properly so I can achieve the optimal goal in the future. You know, and my strategy was simple, to just simplify the largest goals into smaller attainable goals, create a time frame I can achieve my goals, to avoid becoming mentally drained and wanting to give up and saying the road is so long. And I just remain consistent in my steps to achieving my goals. And like you said, Dave, just taking one brick, trying to lay it as perfectly as possible, and just repeating it step by step, and you will achieve it.
Tone, what about you, man?
That was very good, Andre. The importance of setting goals is having something to look forward to. Okay, when has never having something to look forward to ever been beneficial to you? Right? If you go to work, you look forward to getting a check. If you go to school, you're looking forward to the end result of you getting a degree. If you ask the average person, what do they want to be out of life? They'll say rich, successful, they want to lose weight, an actress. All of these things, so if you have all of these things with no way leading up to that end result, these are just dreams, right? With no plan of action, all they are just dreams, right? The only way that you're going to get to these end results, these goals, like Dave and like Andre, is having step-by-steps leading up to that bigger entire goal that you want to attain. So I was just looking through some stuff earlier, and I was reading, and this quote just kind of like hit me. But like, goals are the oxygen for your dreams to be alive. I don't know. I just kind of created it. It was very powerful to me when it came to mind. So currently I'm a teacher, right? And I tell the students to stay woke, right? The term of staying woke is being aware of some of the stuff that people talk around you. It's easy to, pay attention to things that don't mean anything, things that are a waste of time, things that aren't gonna help you get to your goal. As we told you guys, the reason why this podcast was founded was because we all had goals, and we each know something that can make us reach our goals quicker. So that's how the podcast started, us sharing the expertise that we each have. So I spread the term of staying woke. And staying woke at the school, it means, just be socially relevant. Wake up, do something that's going to contribute to you being the best version of yourself. Stop paying attention to he say, she say. If you're going to converse with your friends, try to let it be something productive. All right? Be the better person that you were today than you were, 6 months ago. Just always setting the goals of just progressing. And that's the key thing. We're used to this quote called knowledge is power. I agree with that very partially. What I think is more important than the knowledge of power quote is action is power. You knowing everything in the world and never going out there and setting a foot toward, this goal of putting this knowledge to power, it does nothing for you. You can know everything in the world. If nobody doesn't know, or you're not able to help anybody with that knowledge, you're powerless. All right? So once again, setting these small goals that are compounded, leading to the bigger picture. An example of that is a puzzle. Okay? The bigger picture is completing the puzzle, but in order for the puzzle to be completed, you have to put your pieces together. All right? So stay woke, my friends.
Or what about you, man?
Wow, man. I think you all have made some great points, and I commend you all about it. But, Dave, I can't begin to express how important and vital it is to actually set your goals. And like you had said, put a timeline behind it. I was actually listening to a speech from Denzel Washington, and he had said that in order to achieve your goals and your dreams, you need two things. You need discipline, and you need to set your goals. And I find it so great that we were able to, pick up from the last episode and continue here with goal setting. And it's very vital, to actually put your goals in order and actually have a timeline associated with it and a plan associated with it. You see, many corporations and businesses, they have goals and they actually spend time to plan their goals. And as one of the business management specialists had once said, his name was Peter Drucker, he had said, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So if businesses and corporations are doing this, why can't we do this with our lives? Why can't we set goals for ourselves and actually complete them effectively? And a lot of times, we say we have goals and we say like, I want to be a billionaire without anything attached to it. And, there was a quote, if a goal without a plan is just a wish. So, it's very important that we associate a timeline and a plan with it. And what I find that's very helpful is to actually have a to-do list. Whether it is a daily to-do list, a weekly, a monthly, or a quarterly, or annually, right? And this is something that's helped me and my wife. When me and my wife were looking to buy our home, it looked so big and broad, and we didn't know where to start from. But when we sat down and said, okay, look, we need to meet with the banker this day. We need to meet with the consultant this day. We need to go and get the tax paper from the tax office on this day. And certain W-2s and bank account statements. When we put it in a to-do list, we were able to organize it, and we had a timeline. And we had told ourselves that, okay, we were going to get it by May 2017. And this was back in 2016 where we didn't even know where we were going to start from, right? And, this helped relieve a lot of the stress. And it made us aware of, like, where we stood and how far we were to achieve our goals. And a lot of people, they have a lot of goals and they don't know where to start. And they're busy trying to run around completing so many different goals. And they basically look busy all the time, and they're not yielding any significant results. But what I'm telling you this, right? There's a concept that I learned back in college, and it was called Pareto's Law, the rule of 80-20. And what that is 20% of your efforts will yield in 80% of your results. All right? So, like, Dre, you had worked in a shop, right? What ShopRite notices is that 20% of their customers are going to yield in 80% of their sales. Now, how does this relate to goal setting, right? So you attach this to your goal. 20% of your goals are going to yield to 80% of your success in your overall well-being of life, right? So what you want to do is you make your list of your goals that you want to accomplish, figure out what is going to be the most important, and that's going to be your 20%, because that's the one that you want to focus on, all right? You don't want to focus on the 80% that are going to yield insignificant results, that are just going to be a distraction. You want to focus on the 20% because that is where you'll find the best of your results. And I find that this is universal because this can apply to anything, whether it's in sales, whether it's in goal setting, whether it's in whatever you do. And, I very suggest that, everybody should employ this in whatever they do.
Guys, we appreciate you guys sharing this with us. And, I hope everyone listening found some value. So really just to wrap up, you want to break down your goals into small bite-sized pieces that you can then tackle and track your progress, right? So don't go and overwhelm yourself with, accomplishing this huge goal. Find a way to break it down into daily tasks that can accumulate and eventually be, accomplishing a monthly goal, a quarterly goal, and a yearly goal. We hope you all found value in this podcast today. And we ask that if you did find some value, please refer a like-minded friend, to listen in as well. We look forward to seeing you guys next week and have a great week. Take care.